I never thought Caitlyn wasn't strong. That was actually something I noticed in college. Like, she had a strength about her. Will she get stronger, and will that help her? Yeah. Day is a game, and it's hard to keep that discipline to guard a player like that. So I'm not surprised it dropped off. But oh, what do you know?
You've heard the hype about Caitlin Clark, but did you know Sue Bird just dropped a bombshell about her playoff potential? The WNBA legend is warning everyone. Clark isn't just good, she's a nightmare waiting to happen in the postseason. What does Bird see that has her sounding the alarm? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You've seen the highlights, but numbers don't lie. Clark's putting up stats that make veterans look like rookies. But here's the kicker. Her most impressive stat isn't about scoring, it's about something else entirely, and it's got Sue Bird calling her a playoff nightmare.
I think it would have impacted her a little bit more. So
just get used to
she's definitely getting used to it, which is, you know, trouble for everybody else. That's why I don't want to see her.
From the moment she stepped on the court, Caitlin Clark has been turning heads. But it's not just the flashy plays that are catching everyone's attention. It's the cold, hard numbers that are really telling the story. We're talking 23.7 points per game on 47% shooting. For a rookie, that's not just good, that's downright ridiculous. But hold up, because we're just getting started. Clark isn't just scoring, she's making everyone around her better. How? She's dishing out assists like they're going out of style. Over her last 6 games, Clark's been averaging 11.7 assists. That's not a rookie stat, that's a superstar stat. Think about it. Clark's not just playing the game, she's changing it. She's got the scoring touch of a veteran and the court vision of a seasoned point guard. And she's doing it all as a rookie. No wonder Sue Bird's sounding the alarm. But what makes Clark so special? It's not just one thing, it's the whole package. She's got the range to pull up from anywhere on the court, keeping defenders on their toes. She's got the handles to break ankles and create space, and she's got the vision to find teammates for easy buckets. And let's talk about that vision for a second. Clark's not just passing the ball, she's creating opportunities that weren't there before. She's seeing angles that most players don't even know exist. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
But what you're seeing is Caitlyn now is able to push the ball up the floor. She's able to hit those get-ahead passes. I never thought Caitlyn wasn't strong. That was actually something I noticed in college. Like, she had a strength about her. Will she get stronger, and will that help her? Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's game isn't just about raw talent, it's about her basketball IQ. She's reading defenses like a pro, making split-second decisions that leave opponents scrambling. And she's doing it all at a pace that's leaving veteran players in the dust. That pace is key. Clark plays with a relentless energy that wears down opponents. She's always pushing, always looking for the next opportunity. And in the playoffs, that kind of energy can be the difference between winning and going home.
Her whole mantra was pace, 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 pace. And what I see in Caitlyn, what I see in Kelsey Mitchell, they're just like ramming it down people's throat.
But let's not forget about her scoring. 23.7 points per game is no joke. Clark's got a full arsenal of offensive weapons. She can pull up for 3, drive to the hoop, or create space for a mid-range jumper. And she's doing it all with the efficiency of a seasoned pro. What's really scary for opponents is that Clark's only getting better. As the season's gone on, she's adapted to the speed and physicality of the pro game. She's figuring out how to beat defenses designed specifically to stop her. And she's doing it all while making her teammates better. That's the mark of a true superstar. It's not just about putting up big numbers, it's about elevating the play of everyone around you. And that's exactly what Clark is doing. Clark's got the stats, but numbers only tell half the story. Sue Bird's latest comments reveal a hidden aspect of Clark's game that's got veteran players worried. What does Bird see that others are missing? When Sue Bird talks, the basketball world listens. And right now, she's talking about Caitlin Clark. But it's not just praise, it's a warning. Bird's seen it all in her career, from championship runs to crushing defeats. So when she calls Clark a playoff nightmare, you know it's serious. But what makes Clark so special in Bird's eyes? It's not just about skill, it's about style. Bird's words cut right to the heart of it. Pace of play trumps physicality, it trumps size. It can even trump experience. And guess who's setting that pace?
My WNBA experience is pace of play trumps physicality, it trumps size, it can trump experience, because a lot of times when you're experienced, it's really like code word for your veteran, which is code word for your old.
Slow the pace.
Yeah. So
Clark, think about that for a second. In a league full of physical specimens and seasoned veterans, Bird's saying that Clark's got an edge. It's not about how tall she is or how many years she's been in the league. It's about how she plays the game. Clark's pace is relentless. She's always pushing, always looking for the next opportunity. In a regular season game, that's tough to handle. But in the playoffs, when every possession counts, that's when it becomes a nightmare. But it's not just about speed. Bird sees something in Clark that's rare, especially for a rookie. It's her ability to adapt, to outsmart defenses designed to stop her. As the season's gone on, Clark's only gotten better. She's figuring out new ways to beat opponents, even as they throw everything they've got at her. That's what's got Bird sounding the alarm. Clark's not just good, she's getting better, and she's doing it at a pace that's leaving veteran players in the dust. Think about the mental game for a second. Playoffs are a different beast. The pressure's on, and players start to crack. But Clark, she thrives on it. Her focus, her energy, it's constant. While others tire, she keeps going. And in those close playoff games, that could be the difference between winning and going home. But here's where it gets really interesting. Bird's not just talking about Clark's individual skills. She's talking about how Clark changes the entire game. Her pace forces opponents to play faster than they're comfortable with. Her court vision creates opportunities that weren't there before. And her scoring ability, it means no lead is safe. In the playoffs, teams often slow things down. They get cautious, play it safe. But Clark doesn't know how to play safe. She's always pushing, always looking for the next big play. And that's what makes her so dangerous. Bird's seen players like this before. The ones who don't just play the game, they change it. The ones who force opponents to throw out their game plans and start from scratch. And now, she's seeing it in Clark. But here's the thing, Clark's still a rookie. She's still learning, still growing. And that's what's got Bird and the rest of the league worried. If this is what Clark can do now, what's she going to be like with a few years of experience under her belt? It's not just about the numbers anymore, it's about the intangibles, the things you can't measure with stats, the way Clark reads the game, the way she makes split-second decisions, the way she elevates everyone around her. These are the things that make great players legendary. The playoffs aren't just another game, they're a pressure cooker. And Clark, she might just be the one turning up the heat. You think she's good now? Wait until you see what happens when every possession counts. In the WNBA playoffs, the stakes skyrocket. Every dribble, every pass, every shot, it all matters more. The intensity cranks up to 11, and players feel the weight of each moment. It's a whole different ballgame, and that's where Caitlin Clark might just shine the brightest. Sue Bird's not just praising Clark's regular season performance. She's looking ahead, seeing something in Clark that could make her a force to be reckoned with when the playoffs roll around. It's not just about skill anymore, it's about mentality. Think about it. In the playoffs, the pressure's on. Players start to crack. Their shots don't fall quite right. Their passes aren't as crisp. But Clark, she's built different. Bird sees a rookie with the mental toughness of a veteran. While others might wilt under the playoff spotlight, Clark thrives. Her energy doesn't dip, it soars. Her focus doesn't waver, it sharpens. And that's what makes her dangerous. In those nail-biting fourth quarters, when everyone else is running on fumes, Clark's still going full throttle. But it's not just about endurance, it's about adaptability. The playoffs are a chess match with teams making adjustments game by game, quarter by quarter. Clark's shown she can read the game, adjust on the fly, and find new ways to beat defenses designed specifically to stop her. And let's talk about that pace again. In the playoffs, teams often slow things down. They get cautious, play it safe. But Clark doesn't know how to play safe. She's always pushing, always looking for the next big play. That relentless energy, it wears teams down over a 7-game series. Now, imagine you're defending against Clark in a do-or-die playoff game. She's got the ball in her hands, the clock's winding down. You know she can pull up from anywhere, drive to the hoop, or find an open teammate you didn't even see. How do you stop that? That's the nightmare Sue Bird's talking about.
She's
I don't know
also
why I
like
picked that
figuring
example,
it
but-
out and settling in.
Oh, she's definitely figuring it out.
Got a little rest.
I won't be surprised if as the season gets later into like playoff runs, if you start to see
Tighten
teams do
up.
more, and you're definitely going to see it in the playoff. Day is a game, and it's hard to keep that discipline to guard a player like that. So I'm not surprised it dropped off. But oh, what do you know?
Clark's not just a scoring threat, she's a playmaking threat. She's not just fast, she's smart. And in the playoffs, when every possession matters, that combination is lethal. But here's what's really scary for opponents. Clark's still learning. She's still growing. This is just her rookie season. If she's this good now, what's she going to be like with a few years of playoff experience under her belt? That's why Bird's words carry so much weight. She's not just praising Clark's current skills, she's predicting a playoff storm. In her eyes, Clark's not just ready for the playoffs, she might be built for them. Her pace, her scoring, her playmaking, it's a perfect storm that could leave opponents in the dust. As the playoffs approach, the question isn't whether Clark can handle the pressure. It's whether the rest of the league can handle Clark. She's not just a rookie sensation, she's a glimpse into the future of the WNBA, and that future, it looks bright, really bright.